All right, friends, it looks like we're live, but there was always a bit of delay. So I am just going to wait for my devices to catch up with me momentarily, and then we will get going. I see there's quite a few of you here already, and here we are on my laptop. Now we just need my phone to catch up here. And there we are. Perfect. All right. Up and running on both devices. And I see that there are already some people here hanging out in the chat. So happy to see you guys today. And there is Kinnery. So Heather is taking a few days off. And so today, the person behind the Pinkfresh studio name is Kinnery. So she'll be moderating for me today and catching all of those questions and such that I miss once I flip the camera around. So here we go. Felt like it was shooting up my nose. All right, so welcome to our typical Tuesday card making live. Today's a little special because I will be sneak peeking the July release that goes live this coming Thursday. Now, Heather and I normally do this combined, but I am going solo today because Heather, like I mentioned, is taking some much needed time off. So it's just me today, but I hope that you enjoy what I have planned for you and enjoy getting a peek at some of the new goodies that we'll be releasing very shortly, just in a couple of days. So you don't have too long to wait. So before we get going, let's just go over all of our normal stuff that we go over. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Audrey. We give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. And all you have to do is what you're currently doing. Just chat with us in that live chat. Every comment, question, anything in the live chat acts as an entry into the giveaway. Now, another way to gain an entry is underneath the video here. There's a little button that has an arrow and it says share to it. Oh, we didn't discuss this beforehand. And so it looks like Kinnery is going to do something extra special today. So who wants to win the entire July release in today's sneak peek? Raise your hands. Anyone? Anyone? So we're not going to give away a $15 gift card code. We're going to give away the entire release. Now, keep in mind that will not ship until after the release is done and the giveaway window for the grand prize winners in there. So it'll be a few weeks before it ships, but we'll have your information and we will get it sent out. Okay, so with that being said, you definitely want to chat in the live chat. And then back to what I was saying, you'll want to share as well. Share all of this goodness with your fellow crafty friends. So hit that button. There's an arrow that says share next to it. There's a few places that you can share. You can share on your personal Facebook page if you'd like. You can share, sorry, lost my train of thought. You can share in an Instagram story if you happen to be on Instagram. You can share, maybe you have a direct message or an email chat with fellow crafty friends. You can share there. Finally, if there is a Facebook crafting group that you're a part of and they allow it, feel free to share it there as well and let them know about the giveaway. Now, make sure that that Facebook group allows it. There are some that don't like live videos to be shared, so make sure you know the rules. Here, let us know you shared, and that's an extra entry into the giveaway. Now, finally, this is not for any giveaway or anything, but something that will be that's always helpful to us is if you give this video a thumbs up. That helps the videos reach both now while it's live, but also on replay. So in hopes that we can find crafters out there that don't know Pinkfresh Studio. All right, and it looks like that's going to be a norm. So you are definitely going to want to check out all of our lives, but especially our sneak peek lives. All right. So I've gone over all of the housekeeping. One more thing before I flip the camera around, because I don't see as much once I do flip the camera around. I just want to give a big blanket welcome to everyone. If you're new, let us know in the comments. We love to welcome you. I may miss it, but Kinnery is there in the comments, and hopefully she will catch it as well. But no matter what, new veteran, you've been hanging out with us for years now. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here, and I'm excited to spend the next hour with you posting. So let's get this camera flipped around and let's get going. All right, we're going to switch that over to my desktop. I'm going to change a quick setting here. And I am just going to wait for my phone to catch up. Hi, Simon. And I guess I should grab some things for you to look at here, huh? So let's talk about the things that I am going to sneak peek today. I'm actually just going to do this a little differently. I'm going to show them all to you at first, and then we will get going and start creating a card. So I am going to, I think I put these in the wrong. I did. Got a couple of things mixed up here when I was doing a little bit of prep work. Okay. So this is our new All Kinds of Wonderful Stamp, Die, and Stencil product suite. So these are really lovely floral stems. You'll notice the flowers are all different. They're all on one stamp so that they easily align with that one piece side. And then, of course, the coordinating layering stencils. Now, there are two really fantastic sentiments, a little bit more bold in this set. Those also have coordinating dies. We know you guys love our sentiment dies in the way that they just make your products look finished and polished. So this is part of what I'm going to be showcasing today. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be showcasing is this new fall leaf die. Now, this definitely has a fall vibe and a fall feel to it, but mine is not going to have that. My colors are going to be very different today. So I'm going to use this just as a nice leafy accent in my background. And then finally, we have a new cover plate coming to town. This is our new dotted chevron cover plate. We know you guys love our cover plates. You'll notice there's no cutting line around the edge, so you can do it on larger pieces of cardstock if you'd like. Now, they may not line up perfectly, but you can always find ways to cover up those seams, and it just gives you more versatility when you do that. So these are the 5 products that I am going to be using today for my card. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the stamping and stenciling with the All Kinds of Wonderful product suite. So let me grab my Misty. Thank you guys. I'm so excited that you are loving this design. All right, so I actually haven't even used this yet. It's been kind of crazy busy around here, getting home from being gone for 2 weeks. So I saved using this for my live today, but after this, I think I will have used everything in the release, I think. At least very close, if not everything. All right. You'll notice I'm putting this at a bit of an angle, which means I'm going to have to angle it when I line up the stencils. That's okay with me. I just wanted to have a little bit more clearance when it came to doing the stamping and heat embossing today. So not a big deal to me that it might look a little funny when I have to tape it down to my desk. Hey, everyone that's just joining. If you're just joining and you missed the intro, we are giving away the entire July release in today's live sneak peek. So make sure you just chat with us in the live chat. You can share this video with friends. We would love for you to do that just to get the word out. And then Kinnery will pick a winner at the end of today's live stream. All right, I am just prepping my cardstock panel with some anti-static powder because I plan on heat embossing this image today. All right, so let's go ahead and get this nice and inked up. I always stamp with embossing ink a few times. Reasons for that is, one, I'm just pretty light stamper, and even with the stamp press tool, I just have a pretty light touch. So I want to make sure that I get a good stamp impression. So because we have these fancy, handy stamping platforms, that allows us to stamp multiple times. All right. Give this one more go and I'll see how it looks. That is looking pretty good, actually. I might just do one more for good measure. And these flower stems are so darn cute. Just love how they turned out. All right, this should be plenty. So I will clean my stamp off later. I don't mind if a little bit of embossing ink stays, but just for the sake of time, we will clean it up later. And I'm going to use, today I'm using Brutus Monroe Gilded embossing powder. Just kind of my standard, going with my standard go-to gold today. Feel like it's taken a bit of a backseat lately to gold pearl. Breaking it out, using some up today. Okay. Feel like we got good lines there. Go ahead and put this away. And then I am going to just wipe this down because it never fails. I end up getting a little bit of embossing powder on my desk. And I am going to go ahead and heat set now. So typically when I heat set, Zoom mutes it. So if you're not hearing any sound or if something sounds kind of garbled, it's just this noisy part. And then the audio will come back once I'm done. Right. So there, the heat embossing is done. It looks lovely. Just look at that shimmer and shine. I love it. I noticed a little bit of conversation about our stamp press tool while I was heat embossing. And that is what this fantastic thing is. It just gives you more even pressure when you're stamping. You use it on the window of your stamping platform like I showed. And it's just a really lovely, sturdy piece. We took a lot of time developing this and making it as sustainable as possible. You'll notice this is wood and this is metal. There isn't any plastic on it. And I should note that it actually, when you get it, it comes in this adorable storage box. Like, how cute is that? So you can find that under the Studio Essentials in our online shop. And we love to hear that, Katie. I love the stamp press tool. I use it all of the time as well. So we love, love, love to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start ink blending. I like to tape my cardstock panel down to my surface. Heather likes to tape hers behind so that she can move her panel around. You can absolutely stencil any way that works best for you. This just happens to be what works best for me. And Beatrice is asking, can you stencil well over embossed areas? And you certainly can, and you're going to get to see that today. All right, so let's grab the stencils for all kinds of wonderful. Here's just a quick look at the back of what they will look like when all is said and done. And this is a 4-piece stencil set. And oh, I forgot, I kind of have to do this at an angle because I angle the stamp on there. And then you'll notice, so if you're new to our layering stencils, let me find some glare. You'll notice that they're numbered in the upper left corner, and then there is a grid mark in each corner. Now those grid marks are for when you're using the stamps on their own. When you're using the stamps with a stamped, stenciled, or hot foiled image, excuse me, a stamped, a heat embossed, or hot foiled image, you will just line the stencil openings to the image. So you will forgo those grid lines that we gave you, or little grid notches, but they're really great for when using stencils alone. Now, this is a set where the stencil is, it'll be a little abstract if you try to use them alone. So these are best used with the stamp image for this set. Now, some of our stencils are great alone, but this is just one we suggest using with the stamped image. Louise, no, the tape, I've never had any issues with the tape causing, I just want to see what the next stencil does. I think it's maybe some centers and maybe just some details. Okay, good to know. All right, so we're going to start with, and I think I put these in the wrong way. I did. 1 second, let me flip my ink stands here. I do that all of the time. All right, we are going to start with Sparkling Rose. And I'm just going to get my little ink brush, or my blending brush, inked up. And we are starting with Sparkling Rose here. And I am just giving a good wash to all of the images here. Now, I am going to move on up to bubblegum. All I'm going to do with bubblegum is I am just going to add in a little bit of added color just to deepen it just in some areas of the flower, not every area. You could absolutely do this by layering more of the same ink on there. But I do like the fact that you get a little bit more drama, a little bit more deeper tones by layering a darker ink on top. And this one, I'm actually just going to cover in again because I want those to be a little deeper than Sparkling Rose. All right, now these stencils are pretty quick. They make these images come together pretty quickly. So there we have the start of our pink images. Kristen, our new inks now, we have a new timeline on them. They will be coming in. We will be releasing them in September. So we had a couple of delays and we did end up having to change the date, but you can look forward to them in September. Okay, so switching up here, I need Marigold and I need Raspberry Bliss. A bit more up here. There we go. Okay, so for Marigold, we are now, you'll notice that this is going to be coloring over top of pink. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It wasn't covered up in the stencils. And so I'm just going to blend that Marigold pretty deep, and it's going to be more of an orangey shade. And that is perfectly fine. But that's really all I need with the Marigold, just to do those two little middles. And then I'm going to switch on over to the Raspberry Bliss. And we are going to get these last little flowers updated. Now those are just blending flowers, little tiny flowers in whole. And then these guys are some details. So, and that stencil came together quite quickly. All right, so in true Leah fashion, I am not going to do green leaves today. I rarely do, if I'm being honest. We are going to do blue leaves instead. Give it more of a cool vibe, I guess. Be the best way to say that. But we're going to do blue leaves. So we're going to start here and line up these. Now, if you don't like blue leaves, that is okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And if you wanted to redo this card, if you wanted to case this card and try it for yourself, but you don't want the blue leaves, then you are free to change these up to whatever you prefer, whether that's traditional green, aquas, or you could do them in brown, and you could do the leaves in any color you want. Totally, the sky's the limit on this. I happen to like blue colored leaves, so that's what I'm going to go with today. We're going to start with Blue Jay, and our blues are pretty vivid. So if I want any differentiation in there, I've got to be pretty light-handed. These smaller little ones, I'm not going to worry too much about gradation or anything like that. Thanks, Julie. That's fun. I like that. Very vibes. Okay. So look at that. And it just totally changes the look of the greenery. It gives it a more cool feeling. These would be really great for winter. I'm not doing this on any season, based on any season at all. But it definitely gives off some really lovely vibes here. All right, final stencil number 4. Oh, thanks, Lori. Hey, and switching on over to Sapphire. A little bit on my thumb there. Hey, Donna, I didn't see you jump in there. I'm glad to see you today. All right. And this is Sapphire. We're going to get in here. Sapphire is nice and bold. I think that these are going to be super lovely. And just look at how quickly those come together, especially with our fantastic little brushes. Okay, let's pull that off. And those are our floral images. Look at how fun those turned out. Love it. All right, let me get this peeled off here, the tape peeled off the back. I'm going to do just a tiny little snap, and then we will move along. Now I will clean my stencils more thoroughly once I end the live stream. The way that I clean stencils is I just I spritz a little bit of, this is just standard isopropyl alcohol that I keep in my desk. I spritz each stencil with a few spritzes of it, and then just use a dry cloth to buff it clean. The great thing about using rubbing alcohol is that it dries immediately. So once you have cleaned off your stencil, you can either use it again with different colors or it's ready to be put away. Now, if that's not your thing, you can also take the stencils to your sink and wash them with warm water and gentle soap like Dawn. All right, let's go ahead and get these out real quick. And let's grab the die set here. So in the die set, as I mentioned earlier, the flowers are all on one piece die. So that they are really super easy to cut out. You just have to line up the one die a little time because you're lining up a lot of things here. So you want to make sure you get it nice and lined up. So take the time to do that. And then I'm just going to hold it in place and then tape it down nice as well. One piece dies tend to be a little bit larger and you don't want them to shift in your machine. So you want to make sure you have them taped down pretty secure. And I'm going to go ahead and run these through my machine. You know what? This is at a little bit of an angle. So maybe I need to straighten up. There we go. I don't want that, those sides to hit the side of my die cut machine. That will for sure go off. There we go. And I'll be right back. Okay. And then now, how fantastic is that? Just one quick swoop through my machine and each stem is cut out. Now I'm not going to throw this away because I think I can possibly stamp the sentiment onto it. I may need to use the backside because it looks like I'm getting blue ink smudges. I may be able to use this. So let's see a little bit later on for that. Now you'll notice, I'll show you here in a minute, some of these have little inner chads, which we add the details to the die cut machine, or excuse me, to the die in order to make it look more interesting, more realistic. So I am going to go ahead and poke those little chads out real quickly. Let's see here. Poke those guys out. I see we've got a little bit of chat going on about the collaborations class that we're doing with Altenew in November. People want to get more of those details. They're under the events tab on our website. We will have a banner up later today. So you'll definitely want to take a peek at that. And if it's something that you're interested in registering for, it's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll have me and Heather, and then a couple of instructors from Altenew. There will be some pre-recorded classes and then a couple of live sessions as well. So how adorable are those cute little flowers? All right, so we have our flowers done. Let's go ahead and grab our mini Misty. Let's get our sentiment stamped real quickly. I'm going to pick a sentiment from stamp set. I'm going to use this bigger one. You are all kinds of wonderful. So it may not fit in this little scrap piece that I have, but it might. I'm going to see if I can make it work here. If not, I'll just grab another piece. Oh, look at that. It totally fits. Okay. So let's get this guy. I'm going to kind of angle it here. And I think we should be good. Look at me using up all of the pieces here. Okay. So I think today, you know what? I think today I am going to use Sapphire ink on the sentiment. I was going to do detail black, but I think I'm going to choose Sapphire. I think we're going to go with a colored sentiment today. I think that's going to be really lovely. Pink is a little more prevalent in the blooms. So I think that the blue sentiment will really help bring it out. Now, I believe that dye ink needs to be stamped a couple of times to get a real good impression when you're doing sentiment that has dainty lines in it. All right. One more time, I think, and then we'll call it good. And you'll notice I was not pressing very hard at all. I didn't want that to smush or make any weird impressions in there. Look at how pretty that is. I will clean that up a little bit more extensively when we're done. Let's go ahead and also get our sentiment cut out. And then I'm going to cut out some extra layers of it as well. So I'm going to snip this away here. Thanks, guys. I'm glad I'm liking the pivot to the blue sentiment. Like I said, I was going to do black. Oh, did that cut off? I was going to do black, but I think the blue is going to look really nice with this card. Okay. Let's get this die lined up here. All right. Just going to go ahead and run it through my little tiny manual machine here. Amy, yes, I used Sapphire ink, the Sapphire ink that I blended with, to stamp this sentiment today. Right, let's get that here. I'm gonna be gentle because there's lots of little pieces in this one. You kind of got to get in between. All right, and just look at how fantastic that looks. I just love it. All right, let's go ahead and cut a couple more layers so that I can stack this guy up, give it a little bit of dimension. I think I should be able to fit this on here. Yeah. This is the only tiny die cut machine I have. So I think I won it at an event a long time ago. And I'm all about, if I don't have to spend money on something, I won't. And I will use it until it doesn't work anymore. So I know there's lots of other, probably newer, smaller machines out there, but this one I have and it works handy dandy. Right. I need one more piece of scrap cardstock here because we're going to cut one more layer in this. So this is just a testament to don't throw away all of your die cut pieces because you can absolutely use them for stacking purposes. I may be a little bit crazy. Now this might not be big enough. I think I can make it work. I might be a little crazy about the way that I save cardstock pieces, but I will say that I always have stuff available for stacking purposes, which I love to do. All right, this is gonna be the final layer because I know this part is getting really a little boring. All right. Yep, and I'm a big proponent of using all of your things, so I like to use as much of my scrap paper up as I possibly can. Okay, we've got enough pieces there. Let's put this guy away. We're just to the side, and let's go ahead and get these glued together. Find my liquid glue here. All right, take some time to just get these glued together really quickly. Goes really fast with liquid glue. I am using the Barely Arts glue today. It's my favorite liquid glue go-to. This guy sat for almost 3 weeks unused. And when I got home, it worked like a champ right from the get-go. So I'm a big proponent of Barely Arts glue. Okay, one more layer. Okay. Got a little bit on my glass mat. I'll have to clean a little bit there. Oh, and I just love that now that dye ink is starting to settle, it is softening a little bit. So it's not as dark blue as it looked when I first stamped. So I'm loving it. Hi, Susie. Yes, it is Leah today. And thank you. I had a lovely, lovely time in Montana. It was 2 weeks that I really needed. So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Louise, I do store it with the pin in it, and I very rarely have any type of clogging issues. I mean, occasionally you get a clog here and there, but for the most part, it works super well for me. Okay, so we have dye on my floor. I don't want to lose that. So let's go ahead and get those put away. Okay, so I have one more layering piece that I need to cut out. before we start assembling our card. Now, I am going to show you guys two ways that you can use our dotted chevron cover plate die. So this is the dotted chevron cover plate, and this is when it is die cut. But I'm going to show another way to use it that makes it a little bit more subtle. So let me go ahead and grab my spellbinders. Now, you're not going to be able to see all of this process, but I will show it as much as I can. So we're going to use this to actually emboss our background. So let me grab, I need to get the place. So the plate that I have found that works best, or the sandwich I have found for my Platinum 6, works best for the embossing with our cover plates is platform base, the platform top, which is B, the embossing mat, which is E, and then you put your paper down and you put your cover plate on top. Take a little bit to get it nice and lined up. And then this is just a paper shim. I think it's about 110-pound paper shim, maybe a little bit deeper. And then just one of the cutting plates. And then you can go ahead and just run it through. It shouldn't be hard to run through your die cut machine. If it's too hard to run through, then you've added too much pressure and you need to remove some. Let's just take a look at how this looks. So then you get, it's just a little bit more of an embossed feel versus a pierced feel. I'll show those again in a minute. Let me just clean up my desk here from this die cut machine. Let me be loud for a sec. And so I love them both. And I love the difference that you can see. You may think like, why would that be any kind of difference? But really, one's a little bit more textured, a little bit more raised up. This one has more of that pierced feeling. So I think both have their place. Yes, Kinnery's talking about this lovely vacation that she is so well deserved. She needs this vacation that she has coming up. She's going on a wellness retreat with her husband, which I think is going to be just fantastic. All right, so that's our our dotted chevron die. So one more step, because I do want this to mount within a A2 card base. I'm going to go ahead and just trim it down with our largest stitched rectangle. And I think I'm going to go with the embossed version today. I'll set this guy aside, and I know that this will get used. But I'm going to go with the embossed look today. So I grab my plates and we are going to get this cut out and ready to go here. Maybe if I can get it lined up nice and even. There we go. I went on an Alaskan cruise. Oh gosh, it's been a while now, probably 5 years ago or so. And it was so lovely. I mean, that is my type of cruising. I am not like a sunshine beach goer. I just burn and get overheated. And so I was a huge fan of the Alaskan cruise. I had a lovely time and it was beautiful. I highly suggest them if you haven't gone on before. Oh, Barb, you're going into my neck of the country in Whitefish, Montana. It's such a beautiful, beautiful location to go to. That's super exciting. Look, now I've got that just nice stitched edge on the outside of my my dotted chevron panel there. Okay, So I pre-die cut a few things just for the sake of time off camera. So that what includes this new fall leaf that I showcased earlier. I die cut them in just some nice white glitter paper. Now check out how intricate these are. And I will tell you this, even though these are so intricate, I did not need any type of shim when running it through my die cut machine. However, based on the age of your plates, your machine, the pressure, you may need it. And that is where our bubble wrap technique can come in really handy. It's not ours. I shouldn't say our bubble wrap technique, the bubble wrap, or excuse me, bubble mailer technique, where if you just put a piece of bubble mailer underneath your die cut sandwich, so your paper and die, and then run it through, that helps cut intricate dies like this without putting so much pressure on your machine. And then I had this lovely gold foiled frame already cut out. You'll see I have quite a few actually back here. And I thought, you know what? Been sitting in the packaging for a while, I might as well use it. So we're going to use that today. This is our Ornate oval frame. This is from our Essentials collection, one of our first oval dies that we ever came out with. And it's one of my favorites. And I haven't used it in a while. So I thought this would make a nice appearance on today's card. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back, and we're going to start assembling. Now I do need to grab some foam tape that I forgot to grab. So give me 1 second to grab those and I'll be right back. And I also have my card bases because I'm not completely sure what color I want to use. But I need to make my panel of foam adhesive first. So this is just some white craft foam. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Michael's. I think you can get it at Walmart. I think there's lots of places you can source this. And then this is just 5-inch score tape. And I'm going to go ahead and make my own full panel of foam adhesive. This to me is just the most cost-effective way for getting a nice big panel of foam because I don't want my card to sag. And then it really helps with the sturdiness of the card as well and helps it stay standing up on display. Lots of reasons for this. Of course, if you don't like to add as much dimension to your card, you don't have to. You could absolutely just layer each of these down with liquid glue or tape runner, lots of options. Okay, get our panel on here. And I'm going to just do a quick draw up here of how I want it to kind of look. This is definitely not going to be like the final piece by any means, but I just want to see what the colors look like. Okay, so we're going to go with that. And now we're going to pick, I have a feeling the light pink is not going to be the winner for me. Well, that's pretty nice, but I don't know that it matches any of the shades of pink. Blue does really make it pop. Now this looks very hot pink on my video. It's not quite that hot pink. And then there's that. You know what? I am loving the blue. So I'm going to definitely go with blue. It's going to have a little bit more of a masculine feel today, even though the flowers are pink. It's fine. But I think the blue just makes it feel a little bit more elegant, makes everything pop a little bit more. Perry Jones, I do not normally mention this in a live, but since you're asking and we don't carry foam, if you pop over to Leah Lawson Creates, it's just, that's my website, leahlawsoncreates.com. If you pop over there and click on, I think it's like my favorites or something like that, I have an Amazon list. And I've got that white craft foam that I use linked up there. It's really cost effective on Amazon, especially if you're in the US. Feel free to do that if you would like to. as mentioned, we don't offer foam, so it's not a Pinkfresh product. So, but there is an option for trying to find some if you'd like. Okay, so there is our background. And I need some foam tape here. And let's go ahead. We're going to add some more. You know me, guys. I'm a big fan of foam. Now, this is a little tip. You probably know this, but in case you don't, if you take the release paper off of both ends of your foam tape, you can curve it. And so this frame is obviously, it's a curve, it's an oval. And so this would be a little bit harder to do if I left the release paper on. So you can curve it like this. It's a little sticky, of course, but makes it just a little bit easier to add your foam tape. He's just giving away all the secrets today. She's asking if people would like to see Pinkfresh glitter cardstock. And I think everybody is saying non-shedding, which of course we agree with completely. So I guess be on the lookout. Okay, I can't get that piece. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is sticky, however. So I do know that I want this leaf to kind of just flank the side there. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put these guys down together. The other ones I can snip, and that's a little bit easier to adhere, but this one kind of needs to be tucked underneath. All right, so then let's grab some liquid glue. Actually, I'll do that later. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to place, I'm not going to add the sentiment quite yet. I'm just going to place it so that I know the general vicinity of where I want it to go. And then I don't run the risk of covering it with the flowers. And so then we're going to just kind of flank the flowers in here. And I could even do it where it goes over. There we go. That's pretty. Oh, love to hear you guys are excited about possibility of Pinkfresh Studio glitter paper. We love to hear that. Right, that one's kind of pretty tucked in right there. And that might be enough. I'm not sure if I need to add this little guy in. I think that might just get to be a little too much. So I think I'm going to leave this guy off, maybe use it on a different card, or maybe I'll make up a little tag or something with it once the live is over. But I'm feeling pretty good about how this looks. So I am going to grab this and I am going to glue these two guys together, and I might do a little snip so that the stems don't poke out the bottom of the frame. But first things first, I'm just going to maybe glue them together here. Yeah. And we're just going to snip a little bit off end here. Okay, we'll just go like that. Oh, of course they fell apart. That's okay. All right, that's so much better because it does not come out the bottom. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue on this guy. So I'm kind of making a mess of the glue. Thankfully, it dries clear. There we go. Okay. This guy. Oh, where I did that. This guy in here. Maybe. There we go. I think I just got to get my fingers a little dirty. Sit still, and that can kind of affect. Okay. Just should go down a little bit further. There we go. There we go. Much better. And I feel like this little piece of glitter guy needs a little bit of reinforcement. So we're going to just add a little bit of glue to the bottom. There we go. Okay. All right. So then, thank you guys. I'm glad you're liking my little arrangement here. I'm going to put just some small, little tiny pieces of foam. I can actually use that on this one. In here where it is not overlapping the oval. Do some snoops here. I think we can add these right here. Like that. And then we can probably add one more right there. And that should be plenty. And then for the rest of this, we'll just add a little bit of liquid glue. Okay. And let's go ahead and try to make sure I don't get this all crooked. Thankfully, we're pretty forgiving, the sentiments are. Oh, yeah. Need it to sit here for a minute. Let that glue set on that. It's the gold foil is a little bit harder to get the glue to set on, but it will. You may actually grab this guy, place it on here while we grab some jewels. So finally, jewels. I pulled out a few different colors. I think I'm going to mix and match our jewels and our glitter drops today. I know for sure I'm going to use the Sapphire glitter drop. And then I pulled out the Magenta and the Blossom, Sapphire jewels. I pulled out the Magenta and the Blossom glitter drop. And then I pulled out the Ballet Slipper jewels as well. So I think we are going to grab some Sapphire for sure. And let me look at these. I do really like the Magenta and I don't use them very often. So this would be a perfect time for using them. So let's grab some Magenta. And then I have to choose if I want to do Blossom or Ballet Slipper. And I think I like the subtlety of Ballet Slipper. So I think I'm going to grab those out because they'll look a little pinkish, but almost more white, just because they're so, we'll set the Blossom ones aside. And that hopefully now will have set a little bit better. Well, I think that turned out really fun today. You just never know. You never know how things are going to turn out when you are creating cards. Okay. So I'm going to pull these a little closer to me. And let's see what I'm going to do today with these guys. So that didn't work. That's fine. I think I'm going to just do a little bit of a curve with these guys. Yeah. The little trio does a little curve on each edge. Sorry if my head just butted the camera a little bit. I felt myself brush against it. So I think it's probably fine, but just in case it caused a little bobble. Yeah. And I think I'm going to call that good. There's kind of a lot going on in the card today. So I think that little trio would will be just perfect for this. So I know that was like a lot of hullabaloo over 6 little jewels, but I'm going to go ahead and put them away so I don't end up with them scattered all over my desk and set. Noted on Stargazer, Deb. I don't use them super often either, just but when I do use them, they're always stunning. So definitely noted on the Stargazer jewels about using them in a future live. Okay. Oh, I think the little next tip is spinning off. There we go. Oh, I don't like that placement, so there we go. That's the handiest little tool. I just love it. Hmm. Right, Sherry, I agree. I'm a big collector of bling, um, colors as well because you may not use them often, but it'll be that time you don't have them when you need it, like the Stargazer, which is that really dark blue, or the Espresso, which is the brown. So, okay, so that is my card for today. Look at just look at the shine from that gold foil. So pretty. I don't use gold foil paper as often anymore. I tend to use pearl. So I'm thrilled with how this guide turned out today. Okay, I'm gonna flip my camera around and it looks like Chinnery is getting ready to the winner. So while we wait for that, I just wanted to say thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate your kind comments. I know I missed a lot. I typically watch the replay back when I'm just, putzing around my house or cleaning or doing something in my craft room alone. And so I tend to get to see all the comments afterwards. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I'm keeping my eyes on the comments because I don't want to miss the winner once Kinnery mentions it. So I am trying to make sure that I am not. Oh, wait. Okay. This is going to fly. So congratulations to Becky Gregory. You have won the entire July release before it even releases. So congratulations. In order to claim your prize, please send me an email. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so just LEA. And once I get it, I will confirm with you that I received it. Keep in mind that your package won't ship for a few weeks. Oh, thank you guys for your kind comments on my top today. Had it forever. I just haven't worn it in a long time and it seemed fitting, Barbie release and all of that. So we're a little pink today. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today for our sneak peek. Join us again on Thursday for our scrapbooking live, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube. Natalie will be live this week creating something wonderful. I don't know what she's using yet. So I think she actually has it listed in her live. I just haven't had a chance to check it, or her scheduled live. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. So we give away a $15 gift card code at the end of that live as well. So even if you're a card maker, they're fun to attend, and you can absolutely draw inspiration from our scrapbooking team for card making as well. So we hope you'll join us on Thursday. Other than that, have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will also, course, see you on Thursday, bright and early, 7 a.m. Central Time. That's when our July release will be in our online. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bye.